Have you ever noticed the less someone shares, the more obsessed we become? Think about that. In an age where everyone's documenting everything, meals, moods, even meltdowns, withholding becomes magnetic. There's one celebrity who's mastered this silent strategic art. She doesn't flood your feed, she doesn't explain herself, and yet she has us completely hooked. Why? Because in a world of oversharing and constant content, mystery is rare and powerful. Today we're breaking down the psychology behind it and how Alexa Demie turns mystery into seduction. Humans are wired to fill in the blanks. The information gap theory is central to understanding why Alexa Demie's mystique is so compelling. Coined by George Lowenstein, information gap theory suggests that curiosity arises when there is a gap between what we know and what we want to know. The gap creates a feeling of deprivation which motivates us to seek out missing information. In simpler terms, when we realize we don't know something, our brains want to fill in the blanks. Mystery triggers curiosity. Curiosity triggers attention that results in engagement. Alexa is a walking information gap. Here's how. Her age is unconfirmed and has been debated. Alexa is one of those rare celebrities whose most basic biographic detail, her age, remains a mystery. In an era where everything about a public figure is just a Google search away, not knowing something as simple as a birthday feels oddly unsettling. Between 2022 and 23, the internet became fixated on figuring out Alexa's real age. Some fans were convinced she was in her early 20s, citing her youthful appearance and her role in Euphoria, where she plays a high schooler. Others uncovered receipts suggesting she was born in 1990, putting her in the early 30s range, a revelation that only felt shocking because it clashed with people's assumptions. But why did people care so much? When a tiny missing piece of knowledge sparks an outsized obsession, Alexa's age mystery struck a nerve for a few reasons. It created cognitive dissonance. If she looks 22 but might be 32, what else do we not know? Mystery is more intriguing than clarity in the age of surveillance. We live in a time when most public figures are everywhere all at once. Their birthdays, hometowns, even childhood photos are catalogued for instant access. The moment someone rises to fame, the internet pieces their life together like a puzzle, often before they even get a chance to define themselves. In this hyper-exposed landscape, not knowing becomes intoxicating. Alexa's age just isn't a number, it's a statement. Let's have a look at how this facet of celebrity culture was before social media. Mystery wasn't rare, it was a standard. Old Hollywood stars like Greta Garbo and even Audrey Hepburn were carefully managed by studios. Many even hid their relationships and marriages on purpose. Stars were expected to play characters off-screen too. They'd often go on studio-arranged dates for the press while their real relationships were kept secret or even denied. Their public appearances were limited, interviews were rare, and personal lives were kept tightly under wraps. That distance created a sense of otherworldliness. They weren't just celebrities, they were icons. Alexa taps into the same energy. She doesn't overexpose herself or clarifies rumors, and never breaks the illusion. Just like the stars of classic cinema, her silence isn't a lack of presence, it's part of the performance. And in the era of constant access, this kind of restraint feels radical and even irresistible. Less access just means more fascination. Her nonchalance towards clarifying a simple detail does more than spark a curiosity. It flips the script on how celebrities are perceived. It's a power move, a rare example of a star controlling their own narrative instead of letting the internet dictate it. It signals intention. Maybe it's not about secrecy, but rather a rejection of rigid Hollywood expectations, an insistence on being defined by presence, not digits. It disrupts the culture of oversharing and places her outside the algorithmic spotlight, where nearly everything about a star is usually searchable and settled. She has a vibe similar to that of Lana Del Rey and Monica Bellucci. They too have that mysterious, aloof aura and have grown a cult-like following as a result. We obviously can't talk about Alexa Demie's seductiveness without touching on her impeccable personal style and how she presents herself. Her visual presence is like stepping into a dream. Iconic yet untethered from time, effortlessly pulling from 90s Latina glam, soft grunge, and noir influences. She has a style that feels almost cinematic, like a character who exists in an undefined era. She maintains this image in candid paparazzi pictures as well, although there aren't many to begin with. Many celebrities have their own unique style and curated aesthetic, but what makes this fascinating is the lack of explanation. There's almost no personal breakdown, no behind-the-scenes storytelling, or that many interviews dissecting why she dresses the way she does. what inspires her or how she curates her aesthetic. Her silence turns perception into projection. With no clear narrative to follow, fans piece together their own interpretations, turning mystique into mythology. She exists in contrast to public figures that feel the need to explain and label themselves for digital clarity. Alexa's nonchalance towards this creates an irresistible sense of ambiguity. She doesn't hand audiences a neatly wrapped identity. Instead, she presents a puzzle, an aesthetic people want to decode. It transforms passive viewers into detectives, drawing them deeper into the allure of the unknown. Curiosity is dopamine driven. The hunt for missing information triggers the same reward system that makes social media so addictive. Mystery forces engagement. Instead of passively consuming, audiences become detectives, piecing together theories and narratives that close the gap. With that being said, it's not just about style, it's about a carefully crafted aura. It's your mannerisms and expressions that further play into a person's mystique. The way you walk, your hand gestures, and voice modulation all need to be deliberate yet natural, not orchestrated. A presence that feels striking and aloof is what really pulls people in for more. In this attention-driven economy, visibility is currency, and most celebrities flood the market with constant updates, endless selfies, daily live streams, and oversaturation is the norm. Take for example Kim Kardashian. Kim is arguably the blueprint for modern oversharing as branding, making her a perfect contrast to Alexa's enigmatic approach. The core of Alexa's appeal is rooted in psychological seduction. She withholds, she suggests, she invites interpretation. She doesn't demand attention, she attracts it. Every appearance, photo, or performance feels intentional, like a part of a broader character she is sculpting. Her mystique protects the integrity of her craft. She allows her acting to do most of the speaking. Her celebrity feels like an extension of her art. On the other hand, Kim Kardashian's appeal is rooted in attention and excess. Her rise was built on making the personal public. Family, relationships, business, even her body became part of her monetized identity. She's less about seduction, more about dominance, owning headlines, controlling narratives, maximizing her visibility. Kim's genius lies in marketing herself as the product, a business built on transparency and constant reinvention. Her fame is the art, and marketing is the medium. Mystery is an excellent form of brand control. Oversharing, even if it's authentic, risks inconsistency and vulnerability to public opinion. Alexa's brand thrives on ambiguity. She stays outside of our reach while ironically draws us in deeper. Kim's thrives on access. One builds intrigue through silence, the other builds empire through transparency. Kim invites fans into her world, weddings, divorces, even surgeries. Both of these women represent two opposing philosophies of celebrity, one rooted in seduction and artistry, the other in visibility and monetization. Alexa Demie activates curiosity and projection. She creates a stronger emotional investment through fantasy. You admire her, you obsess over her, but you don't feel like you know her. Kim Kardashian activates from familiarity and intimacy. You've seen her laugh, cry, get married, divorced, and rebranded in real time. You don't have to wonder who she is, you're already in her house. Alexa is a symbol, controlled, stylized, and elusive. Kim Kardashian is a system, designed for scale, speed, and saturation. One seduces by saying less, the other dominates by saying everything. Both are effective, but only one leaves you wondering long after she is gone from the screen. Now here's where this becomes about you. If you want to be magnetic, truly captivating, you don't have to constantly perform or explain yourself. In fact, the more selective you are with what you reveal, the more powerful your presence becomes. To make people care about knowing you, you need to first provide something of value. Show off your artistic or musical talent, anything interesting that you have to offer as bait, and then let the information gap work in your favor. This is useful even in the micro. Add value to somebody's day by being kind or giving good advice, but be controlled about your inner world. Mystery isn't about hiding, it's about holding back just enough to make people feel like they're chasing something they can't quite reach. This scarcity isn't accidental, it's a strategy that fuels intrigue. The more you are in front of people, the more they get sick of you over time, even if you're the most talented or beautiful person in the world. We've seen this play out with some of the most successful celebrities. For example, Taylor Swift. When she went incognito, the less she shared, the more people wondered, Her silence forced people to speculate, analyze, and construct their own version of her. But what happened in the process was that their thoughts were consumed by her. That's what seduction is. Compare that to her being everywhere now. She got booed at the stadium because people grew sick of her constant presence at the games. Let your absence create tension instead of chasing constant relevance. And maybe that's the power of Alexa Demie, not just her beauty, her roles, or her aesthetic, but her discipline, her choice to remain unknown in a world that begs us to be transparent. She reminds us that seduction isn't about exposure, it's about restraint. You don't need to be everywhere to be unforgettable. You don't need to tell all to be seen. You just need to make people feel like there's more, something just out of reach, something they can't scroll past, can't stop thinking about. So if you take anything from her, let it be this. Leave a little unsaid, leave a little unseen, let them wonder. Because mystery isn't weakness, it's a superpower. And the most captivating person in the room isn't always the loudest, is the one who knows exactly when to disappear.